Good morning and welcome to the Forex Daily Update, brought to you by Pepperstone on Tuesday the 26th of February 2019. I'm Darren Sinden and you can follow me throughout the day on Twitter by using @ds_Pepperstone. Okay, let's kick off as ever with a look at the overnight changes and price moves to be aware of. The first thing I want to draw your attention to are the further gains made by the British pound against the US dollar, up by a further 0.25%, the British pound against the US currency to trade at 131.2780 shortly before we recorded the video. And we'll look at some of the reasons behind those moves a bit later on. The Japanese yen was also taking money off of the US dollar, taking 0.26% off of the US currency over the last 24 hours. But the dollar was on the front foot once more against the Chinese yuan, grabbing 0.28% for itself there. The dollar also made gains elsewhere in Asia, taking 0.64% off of the Indian rupee. Dollar index for its part trading at 96.38 shortly before we recorded the video, largely unchanged on this session. Okay, what's on the calendar? Events that may move the markets today. Not the busiest calendar in the world, but still plenty to get our teeth into. At 7 a.m. GMT, we'll have GfK Consumer Confidence Survey data from Germany for the month of March. Later this morning, we'll have the commencement of the Bank of England inflation report hearings to Parliament. We'll also hear from UK PM Theresa May in a speech about Brexit. More on that a bit later. Then we spin over to the USA for 13:30 GMT for the release of housing starts and building permits data for the month of December. And then at 1400 we shall have S&P Case-Shiller home price indices for the month of December. Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, will start his testimony on Capitol Hill today, 2 days of testimony to congressional committees. At 1400 GMT, we'll also have housing price index data for the month of December. And then at 1430, we're back in Europe for a speech by ECB board member Mersch. At 1500, back to the US for consumer confidence data. And then at 2145, we'll have New Zealand imports, exports and trade balance data to round out the day. And that data there, I should say, for the month of January. Okay, breaking news and comment then that's caught my eye overnight. And first of all, UK PM Theresa May will speak in Parliament today about Brexit, and there are some suggestions in the press that she might offer a delay beyond the 29th of March deadline. That's not guaranteed, but that's one possibility, and that probably explains why the pound has improved in value. Congress in the US is expected to vote down Donald Trump's state of emergency at the Mexican border today. This as the president travelled to Vietnam to meet North Korea's Kim Jong-un for a second summit there. India has bombed remote areas of Kashmir controlled by Pakistan as tensions between the two countries rise. This after an attack by militants on Indian military positions that killed around 40 people earlier in the month. Certainly not unusual for saber rattling at the border here, but the bombing of Pakistani targets certainly escalates the tensions there, so that's one to watch. Okay, food for thought, something to take away with you into the trading day and beyond, and why not think about this? Outstanding student loans in the USA have reached an amazing $1.5 trillion, second only in value to mortgage debt in the country. Much of this is owed by those under 30. And a new report compiled by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York suggests as much as 40% of these loans could become delinquent or in arrears by 2023. Quite a staggering statistic. Apparently the mortgage delinquency rate at the height of the global financial crisis was only 11.5%. Now the table here, or the chart here, shows a breakdown of debts and by age and by debt type. Student loans are in the red colour. Mortgage debt is here in yellow, but I think you'll get the idea about where this debt's concentrated and a breakdown of some of the other types of debt across the US consumer cohorts. Right, please take a moment to read this risk warning. Trading CFDs and foreign exchange on margin can be a risky business. If you're in any doubt about those risks or the suitability of leverage products for you, then please do contact your Pepperstone account representatives. We'll be happy to take you through those. And do read this risk warning thoroughly, please. Thank you very much for your time today.